So it's game 3. Let's see if Iizard can stop the rot here. It's a best of 5 and Cooper is 2-0 up. That, it turned ugly in that last game. It really did, because it was a ground army of roaches against 6 immortals and maybe 10 stalkers. And for reasons best known to himself, Iizard never fired a shot and just lost his whole army. So pretty painful. The DTs were a good play, but didn't really get enough done with them. The lesson to be learned there is split your DTs up, make them as hard as possible to detect. Looks like this is going to be a nasty little thing. Yeah, it is. Oh no, why the cancel? Okay. So the forge is building and Coop does not. Oh, whoops. I'm so sorry. What did I press there? Huh. What I meant to press was the vision button. So you can see Kupermeister's vision. As I've mentioned before, the vision range of a complete building is much larger than a building under construction. You see how short this vision range is? So it doesn't reach these mineral patches. So the way you want to time this out, you want to have a little peek. Your probe has a greater vision range than the building hatchery, and you want the hatchery to finish up just before your cannon so that your opponent can't cancel it. Basically, Kupermeister needs to cancel this, get his money back. No, he lets it finish. I don't understand that, Coop. What you do is you just cancel it, and you get out of the 300, you get 200 and whatever, 250 back. But as it stands, you're just going to lose this hatchery. There's no way you can save this. Needs to make sure this cannon is focusing the hatchery though. Focus the hatchery with this cannon, because you definitely want that to die, although in the end there weren't enough lings. This other cannon will keep this one safe. So yeah, it's a pretty good cannon rush from Iizard. I like it. It isn't an overcommitment. These lings just aren't enough. You need the roaches. But look, this queen on the high ground could be just shooting away at this the whole time, because the cannons don't have sight. So I don't know, had Kupermeister known that this queen could have been involved earlier, and maybe he could have got that pylon and saved the hatch. Who knows? Either way, this is what's happened. This is where we're at now. This pylon's going to disappear, and that's not going to matter. Iizard has done well. So he's bought 2 cannons, 2 pylons in the end, although the second pylon didn't really achieve much. But nonetheless, he spent 500. He sniped a 300 hatchery. But more importantly, look, here we are at 5 minutes, and as a Zerg, you don't have a natural yet at 5 minutes. I mean, it's almost GG, isn't it? It's the follow-up that's going to be ever so painful. So what Iizard just needs to make sure he does is not die, because the lings are coming. I think he's going to be just fine. I think he's got enough zealots. He's got 4 zealots here. Just run these workers away. Don't let them die. Run them. Workers can run. But the zealots are going to come down and clean it up, and he should be good as gold, because Cooper just cannot afford right now to be spending larva on anything but workers. There is, if you're in Coop's position right now, I guess what you do is say, how much have I got in the bank? Right, turn that all into roaches and hope for the best. My opponent is too greedy, march across and kill him. But I don't think it's going to work. You've got to do it pretty sharpish. The longer this goes, your opponent's got such a big income advantage over you, that the longer this goes, assuming they're macroing reasonably well, the less chance you've got of this working out. So doesn't look like Cooper is going to make his move. So I just sort of feel that he's going to miss out on an opportunity to possibly come back. To be fair, it was even had he moved out, it's still a slim chance that you're really going to get enough done against a Protoss that is how far ahead in workers, 48 to 23, painful. Now, from Iizard's point of view, 2 ways to go. Either stay ahead of the Zerg, so which he's kind of doing here. His third is going to come down. Cooper hasn't yet saturated the natural. So the Protoss is always going to be ahead worker-wise. So continue to stay ahead. Just drop tech structures, continue to tech up, continue to build your army, and wait till you hit 200 supply. Siphon the knowledge that you've got there before your opponent and go and kill him. That's one option. The other option is know that your opponent is going to be investing into workers rather than army. So go across the map now and kill them. Either way, you know, it looks pretty difficult for Coop to get anything done. Normally, if you find yourself in this sort of position, you know you're behind, you need to look for something reasonably radical. So, you know, if you're a Protoss, this is the time you reach for the Dark Shrine and you think, well, if he's got no detection, maybe I can just turn this game around. In the case of the Zerg, you know, what I'd absolutely love to see is maybe an attempt to drop some stuff in. If you had, for example, lurkers, drop them in here, a couple of lurkers in the mineral line, and hope that your opponent doesn't have that detection. These units aren't going to be enough to turn this game around. There is a big Protoss army marching across the map right now, and it is going to wreck everything. It's a terrible positioning. The Zealots are in the back, but they're finally filtering through. Is there Storm available? I don't know. If there isn't, these should just be Archons. There is Storm available, but we didn't actually, I don't know why there wasn't any Storms. Might as well arc on them. There's nothing left to storm. The Immortals just chewing through roaches, chewing through them like they should have in that previous game. And it is Iizard that finally gets a game on the board here to bring it to 2-1 GG.